The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience NFL Championship Weekend picks, preview, some cussed money teasers. I have a teaser to give out for the first time all season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Geoff Fienberg is in studio with me. What's happening, my man?
I'm all right.
You don't want to? You're still reeling from last week?
No, you just gotta pick yourself up. Well, again, it was a good listen. Got their ass kicked, but it was a good season, and can just hope to get better for next year.
Build on something.
Yeah, they've been built. You know, they have won 4 wins, then 9 wins, then 12. It is
16
just,
next year, maybe
well,
19 next year. 19-0.
We're no New York Jets, but listen, it was a rough day. It was a good year. I'm happy I got 2 fun playoff adrenaline rushes. 1 not so much fun, I guess.
If anyone wants to get into a draw for 20 Draftkings dollars, what you need to do is smash the like button for the episode. Leave your Draftkings handle in the comment section. Give me your Super Bowl matchup. Who do you think's going to win this week? Who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl in Atlanta 2 weeks from now? Hopefully, I am back in time to do that show. This will be the last new show. Maybe golf next week, I'm not sure, but at least for football, it's going to be the last one for a while. We might release some football shows that are previously recorded, but for new content, this is where it's going to be. Day of football winners, the 20 DK dollars from last week. I announce them on the golf show every Monday that Geoff and I do together, so you might want to tune into that. But to reiterate, Adams with a Z, Phantom 000, and Lefty Clutch are the winners of 20 DK dollars. The money should already be in your account. No DraftKings show this week because, as you know, as the viewers may or may not know, I'm expecting a child towards the end of the week, so I'm going to take a little bit of time off. My wife would not let me go back to work the day after, so this is the position that we're in. The third member of the team, the coin, is still behind me at the moment. I'll have to go get that in a second. But the fourth member of the team, coming off a so-so week, we'll recap the week in a second. But his name is Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
Not my name. You leave that coin where it is. No one cares about that coin.
No, the coin is pretty good. Tim, would you say that the Patriots really came through because they were reverse cursed?
I would say no such thing. So they got lucky that one team just didn't bother to prepare.
Now, I don't want to run the clip from last week, but you were pretty...
I know what I said.
You were pretty adamant that I think the quote was the Patriots have no chance of winning.
Yeah, listen, to quote Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men, I don't need my words read back to me like I'm a child. I remember what I said. I was wrong. What do you want me to say? I was wrong. I can't believe that a team didn't bother to pass rush, couldn't cover anybody, and on the offense didn't try to take advantage. It was just very annoying. I know they did their best, but it was very annoying for me. And at least they don't get another game in Foxborough. That's all I'll say.
I think you should apologize to Geoff.
No, no one owes anybody an apology.
You should. Anyone who roots against the Patriots, you should issue an apology right now.
No, but I will say that I was dead wrong about it, but being wrong about that game has no effect on whether I'll be right or wrong about future games or past games. I was wrong about that game. I admit it. I'm not afraid to say I was wrong. I'm wrong all the time.
You were especially wrong about that game. That wasn't even close.
I stipulated that. Do you want to stew on this, or do we just want to be in violent agreement about my wrongness?
Well, I want to hear about your mentions on Sunday. How were those looking? Your menchies, as you like to call it.
They were not. They were toxic.
I guess he took a lot of shrapnel because mine weren't so bad.
Yeah,
Patriot fans don't care.
People feel bad for you because you're a Chargers fan.
I went to the AFC Championship game, I guess 11 years ago this week that they lost, where Phil played on the torn ACL. And I had an identical experience to a tweet someone sent out Sunday morning from the parking lot. It was like, a Chargers fan just walked through the parking lot and Patriots fans cheered him as if they were just happy to see him, like he was some endangered species. And that literally happened to me a decade ago, just waving at people. They cheered. They didn't even boo or heckle. They're you exist. So, yeah.
How much of this Patriots dynasty do you chalk up to Tim picking against them every single week and every single year? Yeah, it has to play a factor because this is something 8 straight AFC Championship games now? 7 straight? And every
Something
year,
like that, where,
Tim
raise a
never
banner
has
about it.
Tim never has them in the Final Four. They're never gonna get there. They were gonna lose the division this year to the Jets. Like, come on, Tim. You should just pick the Patriots if you want this to end.
No, because that would be me admitting that there's some sort of like reverse hex that I could put on things. And I don't believe that. I believe that the Patriots are a very, very lucky team, and one should hope that that luck runs out.
Do you feel that I mean, you obviously probably feel like you're unfairly picked on for when you're wrong, but do you think that you are wrong a large proportion of the time when you make like bold statements, or you don't see that? You just
I don't think I'm wrong a large proportion. I mean, I my fair share I'm wrong, but people like to zero in on the particularly wrong picks that I make and like to forget about the various good picks I make. And then, you know what? I have broad shoulders. I don't care. People want to have their fun. Go right ahead. I mean, that's fine with me. It doesn't harm me at all.
I feel like he's really glossed over the key words that you mentioned in that sentence. The ones that he really takes a stand on and is very vocal about.
Yeah.
You have like a 1% batting average on.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's particularly fair, but listen, I'm wrong more often than I'm right. Sure. But you know, Babe Ruth didn't hit 400 in his career, and he was the best person
But they
ever.
didn't create create an award show to talk about like how many things Babe Ruth got wrong.
Yeah,
During that
they
award
did not have a celebration at the end of the year for all the outs he recorded.
No, but I mean, listen, I at the time of that award show, I made particular mention that I thought that was an unnecessary event.
All right, so to recap last week in terms of the picks, I won the week. I was 3-1, 5-3 for the playoffs. Geoff, big goose egg, 0-4 ATS in the divisional round, still tied with Tim for the playoffs, 3-5. Cuss and the Coin were both 2-2. They are 3-5 for the year. Same picks Cuss and the Coin had. So it's good.
In some ways, I'm even angrier at the Saints than I am at the Patriots.
Why are you angry at the Saints?
Because they just didn't bother to show up, and they still managed to win the game and not cover. Like if you're going to play like
at
that,
the Patriots.
well, because the Patriots at least went out there and throttled their opponent, and they won it up and down. There's no debate about it. The Saints should have crushed that Eagles team. They win. They did not play well. They did not show much at all in the way of domination. They didn't cover, and yet they still got to win. Like that annoyed me.
You gave out that parlay last week. Good if you just made it the Saturday version of it, you would have won, but you had to put on the 4 games. Then you lost the money line on the Chargers, and you lost.
Well, it was the last opportunity I could have to put a 4-teamer together too, so I couldn't pass up that opportunity, or I won't get another one until September.
Well, you're 3-17. I guess that's
I'm aware.
Is that the end of your free money, or do you have free money this week too?
No, I don't have any free money. There's 2 games. There's no free money this week. I mean, there's a game I particularly love a lot, but there's no free money.
I'm going to guess that's the Kansas City Chiefs, but
no, it's not.
3-17 is what you end the year at for your free money teasers and parlays and such. So that's not good. It's shockingly worse than last year.
It'll be better next year, I promise.
Also, even like it's 1-17 if you take out Thanksgiving.
when all teasers hit,
yeah.
No matter which way that you played it. You got to backdoor your way into more of those weeks, Tim. Really,
I mean, an ungodly amount of these things have been pooched because one of the 2 of you have talked me into adding a team that I didn't want to add, and at the last minute I did, and it screwed me over.
I actually don't think that happened this year. We talked you into throwing some games on because generally the games that we talked you into putting on your teaser were the ones that, again, you were very boisterous and very confident about, yet somehow you were unable to tease them at the time when you first made your teaser. But I don't think that we added any one game that cost you a teaser.
Well, like when we told you to put Notre Dame on your teaser, but you still lost like 5 of the 6 legs of it, but you want to blame us? Psychopath.
No, I only blame myself. I'm the one making the decisions. Just saying, next year, I promise we're batting over 500. I pledge that to the people.
Well, the free money teaser is already cursed for next year. So let's get into the games. Let's start with the NFC Championship game, the Rams, the Saints. Tim, I believe you had predicted this would be the NFC Championship game, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Congratulations are well earned.
These are actually both mine and Tim's Super Bowl picks.
Yeah, which means New England's definitely making the Super Bowl, by the way.
My New England pick was by default because I felt like saying the Chargers was to win like would be disingenuous. So by default, like okay, the Patriots.
So you have Rams Patriots as your Super Bowl? That was your Super Bowl
No,
pick?
Saints.
Saints. And Tim
Patriots.
has Rams KC as his
Yeah.
Super Bowl pick. So I'm looking pretty good here. So what do we do? -3.5 is the over under of this game. 57 is the total. I actually like the Rams and the points. New Orleans, they didn't look great last week, and I think that the Rams probably learned a lot the first time around, getting waxed, and it was just a couple of like big plays middle of the game. I think it was that Michael Thomas touchdown that really swung everything for them. They couldn't get Gurley going, and now they have the immortal CJ Anderson to run the ball for them. Then I just think it's a close game. I think it comes down to a 3-point game, and if I get the hook, I'll take the hook. So I am taking the Rams to cover the number in New Orleans. Geoff.
The week they played, pardon my ignorance, was that the week that I was so captivated by our Super Lock San Fran, Arizona game? Because I can't remember them play. Like, I just don't remember. It wasn't a primetime game when they played.
No, it was America's game of the week that week, though.
Yeah, it was the 4:00 game. It led
Yeah,
the. I think that we did. That was the week that
Because
we
I'm
bet
like,
big on
I
Arizona.
didn't get to watch this great game that was happening because I was stuck watching that crazy Josh Rosen's highlight of the year. I guess, right?
his only good half of the season.
I could be wrong on that, but I don't know why that's what I think. I hate that it seems like some sharps got on it quickly.
For
pushed
which side?
Because that
on
went
New
from like
Orleans?
3 to 3.5.
Okay.
I think. Because I'm not gonna lie, you're actually telling me this stuff. I've sort of been dark to the world of football. Makes it hard to like do normal things because I don't want to go to the websites I've been going to. Like it just
Been there, yeah.
I'm gonna take the Saints. It's such a tough call. I think Sean Payton's gonna have something. This is gonna be a great game, and I don't even feel like. I mean, I'm angry because I'm just the dud sitting at home in Toronto, and all I begged for all week was to cover running backs out of the backfield.
That didn't happen.
But I also sat there like everyone else, I think, on Sunday before I passed out, that like unequivocally knew the Saints were going to fake that punt or field goal, the punt, the 3rd and 11. You got to start taking those now in modern football.
Taking those shots?
Because those like 4th and inches, 3rd and 11 might be the safer move.
Yeah, but again, if Alshon Jeffrey doesn't drop the ball, the Eagles are probably going to score, and they're probably winning the game.
Fine.
Like, it comes down to that block.
There's going to be, you got to be on your toes, like onside kicks, because this game feels silly.
Well, the big thing, I actually went back and rewatched the first game. McVay did not coach well in that game. Like, he seemed to have no clue what to do in terms of like offensive.
They hasn't coached well in weeks.
But that was also when the Saints were on their like super heater.
Sure,
when that game happened.
Yeah, the Rams were on their super heater, and the Saints were like, because remember the Saints had lost week 1 to the Bucks at home. Then they just got past the Browns week 2,
yeah.
and then they just kept winning. I was like, oh, this is where it stops.
And then they started winning by like 30. But
like McVay just didn't know what to do once they got down in that game. Like, he had no clue what to call anymore. Like, they're such a front-running team that if they do get behind by a bunch, it just curtains for them. And that's why I think that they're going to try to keep it relatively close. I know, of course, they're going to try to keep it close, but I think this game will end up being pretty close.
3.5's a big number because leaves the back door open, leaves a lot of things. She's going to side with Peyton here, the veteran play caller.
Okay, so the coin is with you. The coin likes New Orleans. Tim, I'm guessing you're taking the Rams.
Yeah, let's do a little accounting of how the New Orleans Saints have looked like the last couple of months. They sleptwalked through the Eagles game. Week 17, they got blown up by the Panthers. They didn't play anybody. They beat the Steelers in the game. The Steelers gave away the game, and the biggest play was the Saints touchdown on an obvious PI that even the league admitted that they should have called. They beat the Panthers on a Monday night 12-9 when if Cam's shoulder was healthy, they wouldn't have come close. They beat the Buccaneers by 14 in a game the Bucs were leading into the fourth quarter. They got beaten by Dallas. Then they played on Thanksgiving where, they played all right, but they didn't play their best and the Falcons could have had them. That's the last 7 or 8 games they played. They have not played an impressive game since back when they blew out the Philadelphia Eagles. So if a team can peak, the Saints did it. And they're on the slide. Now, the Rams are not playing great football either by any means. I mean, I think they did what they needed to do against Dallas. I think they intelligently schemed a game plan where we're not going to try to beat them through the air. We're going to try to ground it out. We think we have advantages, and they took it. I just don't think this Saints team engenders any confidence. Home field didn't seem to really matter whatsoever for them last Sunday because they really should have gotten beaten by the Eagles. I think the Rams, fast team, indoors. It's not a travel issue. I don't know. I think the Rams have more talent on their team, and so if you're going to give me the hook, I'm going to take it, and I'll probably take them on the money line too.
If the spread was 3, you'd have a different opinion.
I would. I really like that half point for the Rams. I think this is gonna, like I said, I think it's gonna be a field goal game. I don't really know who's going to win. I would lean.
I almost would argue.
I would lean New Orleans just because the defense is better.
I don't know. To me, like I don't know. I said like Peyton, but for me, I think it's more like home. I'm willing to lay that extra hook, and I don't know. I don't know how much I even want to put real money I would want to place on this game because I'm quite torn. I'm quite torn on it. But I would lean the Saints, and I might deviate from my Super Bowl prediction in the other game, but here I'm going to stick with what I said in our season preview show. Saints go to Atlanta, in a stadium they'll be very comfortable with.
So the Rams for Tim and I, New Orleans for you and the coin. That's the way that we're going down with this? All right. Next game, New England at Kansas City. Do you know what I heard? The buzz is about this game. It's -3 for the Kansas City Chiefs. 55 is the over-under. Here it's going to be pretty cold. That's all the buzz about this game all week. I think it's 20 degrees is what's projected at kickoff right now. Who do you think that helps? Do you think it matters at all, Tim? Do you think that you talk about New England got lucky last week. Are they getting lucky with the weather here? Because to be perfectly honest with you, the 3 is really tough. Like I think this is if the weather's cold and the offenses can't get going, or New England continues to run the ball as effectively as they have been, that this game does remain close. I actually teased 7-point teaser, teased Kansas City to +4, and I teased the under up to 62.5. That's the way that I played this game.
Do you know that since Brady won his 3rd Super Bowl, he's 1-4 on the road, and his only win was against the Chargers when Philip Rivers long ago enough making his first ever playoff game.
I watched highlights.
And that was the Marlon McCree game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't talk, shut up.
Like 200 yards.
Yeah.
He played great and they should have won.
So they lost twice in Denver. They lost once in Indianapolis.
You're talking about
Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
Once in Denver twice? I know recently, the year Denver won the Super Bowl
They
recently.
lost in Denver twice because they lost on one. I think Cutler was the quarterback, wasn't he? And remember there was that long return touchdown in that game right before the half? Champ Bailey, I think.
That was against was that at home?
No, I thought that was in Denver. And that may have been against Indianapolis. I don't quite remember. Or Pittsburgh or something like that. Maybe they lost to Pittsburgh? At Pittsburgh?
No, I don't think they lost at Pittsburgh.
What's the other loss? Is it just 2-2, Indy and Denver?
Yeah.
Or was that one random game in Baltimore that year when Ray Rice let them over?
No, that was in Foxborough.
2 to the Steelers. No, because that was before the Super Bowl.
All right, well, this is thrilling stuff here. Tim, why is I think this is going to be close. Like I said, I think both of these are field goal games. I think the spread
3 to the Broncos.
3 to the Broncos. Okay. That makes more sense.
13-15 and 2005.
Okay. So I'm going to pick Kansas City to cover. I'm going to pick them to cover the 3. I don't have a whole lot of faith in them. That's why I tease them to +4. But I think that even if they lose, it'll be by a field goal. So I like where that teaser is at for me. I probably won't bet this game straight up. I had a high degree of confidence in the Chiefs last week. That was my biggest bet that I made. I only bet 2 of the games, and they were with both these teams. But where are you seeing this, Tim? If it's going to be close, that means you probably like New England on the points.
Well, I don't, because in the end, I'm going to take the team I think is slightly better with the Chiefs, but I think it's going to be a very close game. And I mean, we've seen all year, the only possible way to beat Kansas City is to get high scoring and try to beat them in that type of game. And I mean, the Chiefs offense last week wasn't all that impressive. The next thing you know, they had 30 points. That happened against the Ravens too. Like even when the Chiefs don't play well, they still break the 30 mark. So I think it's going to be a game that is played relatively high. I mean, the weather was bad last week at Arrowhead. They still managed to put 30 plus on the board. I don't think that the way that the Chiefs defense played is believable. I've seen somebody, it's way too early to make this comparison, but someone's already tried to compare this year's Chiefs defense with the Colts defense that won the Super Bowl.
The Bob Sanders defense?
Yeah. When they were like the worst defense in the NFL and yet in the playoffs played great. to get them to the Super Bowl. I mean, sure, that's what happens. Great, I guess, but I don't believe that. I think the Patriots, scheme-wise, they have a lot on tape. I don't expect Tyreek Hill to break as many deep ones as he did, but in the end, I just think this Patriots team on the road is 3-5. They have 5 losses to teams that didn't make the playoffs. So they're not just losing on the road; they're losing to bad teams and mediocre teams on the road. The Chiefs don't tend the teams that beat the Chiefs are really good teams. They lost to the Seahawks. They lost to the Chargers. They lost to the Patriots. They don't lose to bad teams. So, and they lost to the Rams. So in the end, I think the Super Bowl MVP at home, where there is a real home field advantage, will take advantage and beat the Patriots in what I think is a high-scoring close game, like 37-33 for the Chiefs.
If you like the under in this game, I would recommend to bet it now. If you like the over in this game, I would recommend waiting until Sunday because this line is going to end up dropping, I think. People are just, you know how people every week, we do this live Sunday show every single week, Tim. You know how people always freak out about the weather?
Always. It's
And
their
that-
number one concern.
It is. And like it'll push the number down because people will say, oh, it's frigid. That's why I ended up teasing it up because the score you've predicted would still go over the number that I got. But if I wanted to bet the under, I wanted to make sure there was still a bit more juice on it because I'm worried that this does end up going into a shootout too. But like I said, I'll take KC with this number. And I think Tim hit on most of it. The Patriots just been ass away from New England this year. They've been great in Foxborough. They've been bad away from it. Sometimes you can't overthink this stuff.
I'm just picking the Chiefs. Yeah.
Well, let's come up with a path to victory for the Patriots here. Because we have, do you think it's going to be close as well? Or do you think it's a blowout, Geoff?
The whole game bothers me. But I think the Chiefs... I don't know. The Patriots got so much pressure, like up the interior of the line, and Mahomes will just be able to move away from it. Phillip couldn't.
Like, Mahomes is not immune to throwing, like, we've seen it throughout the course of the year, like a lot of these, like, highlight reel passes that are, like, super risky, that it only takes the Patriots to capitalize on, like, 1 or 2 of those, and the game absolutely swings.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots' path to victory is that when the Chiefs' defense need a stop, they can't get it. And I can see that happening. Like, the Chiefs could put up 34. That might not be enough, right? I don't think the Patriots will slow down this Chiefs offense. I think there are just too many weapons. The cliche is that Belichick takes away what you do best, but I don't know how you can take away everything. Like, you're going to take away like his motion, his mobility, have him in the pocket, then he'll kill you with his receivers. You want to try to blitz him up the middle and get him on the move, he'll get you with his receivers. Hill's the fastest guy in the league.
I think the line is soft. I think a lot of people thought last week's Charger line was wrong too, though.
Most of this game,
I would argue this game should be Chiefs -5.5, Chiefs -6.
Sure, I mean, one of the reasons.
But a lot of people thought last week's Charger game should have been like,
Sure, and
we're laughing that Chargers were getting more than a field goal.
And one of the reasons that I ended up taking the Patriots and betting the Patriots last week was we talked on this show. There's no way, according to Tim, that the Chargers could win the game. And when I ran the poll in the comment section, which underdog has the best chance
Obviously,
to upset, it was like 90% Chargers.
Weren't they
Everyone was on the
They're
Chargers.
the shortest underdog too, though.
Were they?
They were, but
Yeah,
people
Saints.
love
the
Indianapolis.
Colts. People like the
love
Colts, too.
Indianapolis.
Yeah, but people were ready. And even I sat here saying, as much as I like the matchups in the 53 versus 53, 2 weeks ago I'm snickering that I'm getting 3 versus Baltimore. Last week I said the person snickering is Belichick, like as we're recording, because he's seeing something. And you saw it in that game. It's like 3rd and 4, and they call these plays that I don't know what the Chargers could do. It's like these plays are won on Wednesday, like in the film room.
Yeah,
Like there's just no, like I don't even know.
like, oh, James White's wide open again. How did that happen? No one's covering him. So I think that the Patriots need to employ sort of a modified
That place
version
is
of
gonna
what.
be a
Sure.
freaking
But
madhouse.
Listen, just because they won last week, let's not forget that Arrowhead has bad vibes in the playoffs.
I
for the
know, but
Chiefs.
it's just good. No, good vibe, good. I mean, listen, it could get dark and haunted quickly, but good vibe or bad vibe, it's going to be madhouse. And nobody, I assure you, needs the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game more than ticket brokers, because that is a rabid, hardcore fan base who's faithful and loyal,
And
that have been without something for a long time.
And Patriots fans have been to like
They're
20
done.
Super
They're
Bowls.
done.
at this
If you
point.
can afford it, you've been to 4 of them.
And this will be,
Oh, yeah.
if they make the Super Bowl this time, this will be the worst team that they've sent to the Super Bowl since the very first ones.
Listen,
and they won those
yeah.
ones, and Patriots fans were jazzed to go.
You're either, if you're a Patriot fan, you like I have Super Bowl fatigue. At least like you've been to a bunch. You're only going for. There's only two reasons I could see Patriot fan going. One,
Brady says
is
he's going to retire.
He's convinced it's like the end, so he's like, I went to like the third and the fifth. I'll go the last. Or if you're like a dad and you've made some money and like your 13-year-old son's into it, and it's like, you know what? I've gone a bunch, gone with my boys, gone with the wifey. I'm gonna take the kiddo. But Rams fans aren't. No, shut up. No, I'm talking about the market. Like
I don't need to talk about the Patriots in the Super Bowl yet. I don't need that in my life
I'm
yet.
just talking about the ticket market and how the Chiefs would be great for the market. Just like LA will be horrible for it, and the Saints, I guess, like they could drive there.
The Saints would be good for it
locally.
Yeah,
there's
like it's an easy trip.
Yeah, but people from the city don't go to the games, Tim.
No, I know that, but it's not. It would be like a bunch of Yankees fans going to Fenway for.
It's
World
not
Series.
though, because there's still enough lingering Saints fans, even in the Georgia, like close to Atlanta area. Not everyone's a Falcons fan.
And I guess the Rams, the brokers would need to hope that people in St. Louis still like them.
Yeah, a Patriots Rams Super Bowl would. The ticket prices might be like 60% of what they would. Like the Super Bowl is always going to be a hot ticket. They just won't be in demand, so the secondary market won't be out of control.
Oh, trust me, they said their biggest fear on earth was like an LA Super Bowl.
Of course, maybe they could just play that in the stadium where no one is, empty stadium game.
But yeah, no, I mean, like Tim would agree with this. Seeing the Chiefs like return to greatness, it's always great to see. Like I'm happy when the Cincinnati Reds. Like, if they could be good again, like, that's, as a lifelong baseball fan, like, they're a historic franchise. They've been beaten around a lot. Like, let's go. I think the Chiefs have had more success than the Reds, arguably, in the last, 20 years. But I'm just picking an example. So I'm happy for Chiefs fans. I don't hate the Chiefs the way I hate the Broncos and the Raiders. I think it'll be a deserved,
They've had some bad luck over the years.
Yeah, and they're not.
This is their time. Like, this offense may never be this good again.
And I'll say this from our other venture, the golf stuff. Mm-hmm. There's an insane amount of people who follow us from like that Midwest, like Chiefs, like region.
Yeah.
I've noticed over the years.
Midwest likes golf. From like Minnesota, north to Minnesota, down all the way through Texas. It's big golf country.
Insane, because, I enter a lot of the Chiefs fans, we go back and forth, all good fun, and most 98% of them are fantastic. So I'm happy for them, excited for them. I will go to a movie, arguably, if Brady's in another Super Bowl. Me and Tim go to a movie together. I'm not even anti-Patriots like Tim is, but I'm just done. I'm done. So go Chiefs. Well,
does it surprise you, Tim, that the teams with the 4 highest passing DVOAs in the league are the 4 teams that are left?
I mean, it should be, since it's never happened before. It was like the year that all 4 number ones made the NCAA Final Four. Like, it had never happened before, or since. So it actually kind of is surprising. So yes, in that sense, I would say it is surprising, since it's the first time it's ever happened.
Do you think that it is something that we're going to see more of? Maybe like 3 of 4. 4 of 4 is a bit of an aberration. I would agree with that. But do you think this is where the league is moving towards, or do you think this flops back the other way?
I don't know. I mean, I think the league goes in cycles. And so maybe for the next couple of years, that will be the case. And then something else will take over, and maybe defense will be, who knows? Would it surprise me if in 2019, let's say that 4 teams in the last 4 are in the top 10 of offense? Sure, that wouldn't surprise me. I could totally see it. But it also wouldn't shock me if a team that was like number 1 or 2 in defense was in there either. Like, it wasn't that long ago that the Broncos were in the Super Bowl because they had one of the greatest defenses ever. So, like, I think these things go in cycles, go in waves. But right now, I am not surprised that in 2018-19, the top 4 offensive lines are.
I think I saw you could bet advanced Super Bowl hypothetical matchups because they're easy enough to do.
That's also the giveaway in the comment section this week.
But the total for Rams Chiefs, I saw was like 64.
I don't know if they can get to that again.
They probably wouldn't, right?
They probably, they probably will, but like it's such an unfathomable number.
Well, last
year's
Super Bowl was like the craziest yards game ever, and I lied. I'd watch the Super Bowl if Brady was there.
So the path to victory for the Patriots here, if you were to drop some sort of blueprint, what do they need to do? They need to, like I said, to do a modified version of what the Ravens couldn't quite pull off when they went to Arrowhead, where you just run, milk the clock, and extend these drives. Now, it's modified because there's no Lamar Jackson. I don't think Tom Brady's going to start running the read option here. But what Lamar Jackson's able to do on the ground to keep the ball moving forward and run the clock like he did in that game, I think the Patriots can do with passes to James White and Edelman for like 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, and maybe get something big into there as well. So you run the ball with Michelle effectively, maybe even you get like 2, 3 Burkhead plays in there, whatever. But keep the chains moving that way. Get yourself, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5 on first down. I know there's a lot of people on the internet who will hate that idea because running the ball is clearly the worst thing you could ever do. But
The worst.
again,
You're better off fumbling.
Against the Chiefs in the way that you want to play this game and try to shorten it, I think that's imperative. They need to get some modicum of pass rush in this game. It's probably not going to look as good as it did last week against the Chargers, but they can't be sending all-out blitzes because they will get burned for 80-yard touchdowns. They need to figure out a way. They need to figure out a way to get pressure with 4 or 5 guys, and that's really it. They need to shut down Damian Williams, and they need to create a turnover somewhere. And Brady's always been really good, not so much this year, but Belichick and the Patriots historically have been very good at creating like a fake turnover, either by possessing the ball towards the end of the half and they get the ball in the second half, just limiting a possession that way by running out the clock to end the first half. I think that's going to be necessary for them too. I don't see any trickery. I don't see anything like that, but that's the way that they win this game.
Why not just dust off the game plan from week 6 when they beat the Chiefs? I actually don't think they should be running and trying to ground the ball out. I think that considering that secondary, it should be bombs away. The only way to beat the Chiefs is to put up, they better get to 40, I think, to win. That's the only path they've got. I don't think, if you shorten the game, I actually think that's deleterious to your chances against the Chiefs because the Chiefs are so efficient on their drives that they will score. And if you're limiting the possessions you can have on offense, you may be throwing away opportunities to score points. So more chances you get to possess the ball against the Chiefs defense, the better. I think it's got to be a game where Brady throws 400 plus yards. I think it's a game where they have got to go bombs away. And if they do not, I don't think they can win. If they do, then they have every opportunity because the Chiefs defense is terrible.
I know that by the second half, you were probably in a haze, but Brady in the first half last week against the Chargers, he made some like really horrendous deep ball throws that he kind of got away with, but he was throwing balls up the seam to Edelman that were like pinpoint like strikes 25 yards down the field. So if that Brady shows up, maybe they can do it. I just don't have faith in their like long range passing game. It needs to be like interior passing game and like swing passes that the guys do something with, break a tackle and get down the field. Like you might see a lot of like Cordero Patterson in this game just to be a game breaker because he has that big play upside, but I don't see them taking a lot of shots.
Last time they played, they had Josh Gordon too.
This is true.
And that element of having Josh Gordon also.
So anyway, that's how I think that if the Patriots win this game, that's how they do it. And anything that's 4th or 5 and less from like the 50-yard line and in, they have to go for. Punting's not going to win you this game. And, and settling for 3 from the 34-yard line is not going to cut it either.
No, I don't think so either. I think you've got to try to pile up as many points as humanly possible because you're going to need every single
Tom Brady's going to have a better third down conversion rate than those dang Colts did.
I would hope so, for their sake.
And obviously the Chiefs.
I think we're going to read that Andrew Luck had the flu or something in that game. I don't buy what happened there. For him to play that poorly against that defense, something was up.
It's not even that he played bad. It's like his throws didn't look like any throws you've ever seen him make.
Well, do you think that maybe the season coming off shoulder surgery caught up to him? That
maybe there's
on his passes?
Fatigue. I don't know, but he was throwing it like a guy like joking with Rivers, like like in golf, like I'll do your swing. It's like using another guy's batting stance. He was like using Rivers' release, except not good at it like Rivers is. And you could debate that, sure, but whatever.
He was doing the push pass?
Yeah.
Mahomes can actually do all the
I need to apologize for Phillip Rivers because he didn't play defense and he couldn't tackle people.
Okay.
He's solely responsible for our loss.
Yeah, but that comes with the territory. If they win, even if he doesn't play well and they win, he gets credit for it. If he loses and it doesn't matter.
I knew we were fucked when they took the second drive down our throats. Because they took the first one. It's like, okay, now we got to figure it out. Fill up, like, the bell's ringing. We had to answer it. We took the knockout punch. We answer it with a bomb. I'm like, I'm ready for anything. And they go right down again. I know some mysterious third down extensions, but when the game was over, I couldn't care about the refs. Couldn't care.
So KC for myself, yourself, and Mr. Tim Andercuss, the coin. The only one picking the Patriots to cover the 3 here, the +3.
Smart.
Yeah, the coin.
He doesn't watch the games.
That's the thing. He's not influenced by what he's seen
I mean,
all
your
season.
teaser's interesting because it's dreadedly going through.
Yeah.
0.
Like they lose the game, they could easily lose by 10. Like I get it.
Sure,
I've done it. I've done that. Teaser
I think
before.
if they lose by 3. That's why I like the 4.
But you think they could also
surprised you
mop
didn't play
them?
it
That's
the
why
other
you're
way.
not
Like,
taking.
Like
it. Yeah,
I'm picking them to cover the -3. So I do think that they win the
so
game.
shouldn't your teaser be?
I would have
And
played
you-
it the other way.
and you
I would
like-
have played the Patriots plus 10. Same thing, but I would have played the
because
Patriots plus 10.
I listen. If there's one outcome in this game that I don't see is the Patriots win by 25. I think the Chiefs could win by 25.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't
That
see it
makes
happening
sense.
the other way. Like I feel like the Chiefs cover the +4 more so than the Patriots cover the +10.
And you like that total better than taking your Rams to 10.5.
Yeah. I just
you're worried
have
this-
no
they
feel
worried
for
they-
that other like
Yeah, I
that
don't-
game. There's the range of outcomes for that Rams Saints game is all over the map because the offenses are so good and they're playing in pristine conditions indoors that I just don't know what to make of it.
And something I read literally 10 minutes before we started recording from out of Vegas is the Sharps haven't really done anything with this Patriots Chiefs game.
No,
They are literally like, people are like, either they don't know or they're just like watching it. I've seen that some books move it to Patriots -120, +3,
Oh.
Chiefs +100.
so they don't want to move it to 3.5.
They do not
They're just
want
they're increasing the vig
That
on the
was the first.
-3.
That was the first move, but there haven't been much action on the game yet. But they're expecting like a. I mean, we're recording
on a Tuesday,
a day earlier than we normally do, but it's 2 games, and
I'm not going to be here.
yeah. And what are we going to talk about tomorrow that we aren't going to talk about today? I assure you, the Patriots aren't giving no bulletin board material. Like, you know, I do want to comment that I think I was very nervous with that Sean Payton cash and trophy.
I like it. Do you think?
But why did
actually?
he
I'll save
feel
that.
that-
I'll save that for about 5 minutes from now.
Oh, should I stop?
No, go ahead.
Why should he feel the need? Like my initial reaction was, is he worried his team isn't motivated enough?
He should be.
Sure, but right, like why do you
And
need like
nobody's been through
everybody playing wants that cash, everybody playing wants that trophy. You got to realize these guys don't get paid for playoff weeks. They just get a game. Like their contracts don't include playoffs.
Yeah, there's a bonus for each
Yeah.
game that you go through.
Like the winner losers get, like I know wild cards like 35 or 30K, and then it goes up to I think to the Super Bowl where the winning players get, you know, I think it's that 200 or 225
Is
to like
225
one.
each, really?
And it's something that show goes on at a price, but
That's a nice little bonus.
well, the league's making a lot of money
That
so,
there, and the teams will make a lot of money. So.
on that day. So the players,
I don't feel like remember when there was the
but everyone makes the same. Like Breeze makes that same check as whatever.
The punter.
the punter. So Donnie Jones really clear. Your buddy, Donnie.
That guy, what
Our
a
buddy.
goddamn
What is the one thing we told you was cursed last week? Donnie Jones, because Tim shook his hand.
Okay, week 3 against the Rams, Drew Kaiser has a punt blocked in the end zone, and in the post game, Lynn pretty much decides to take 80% of a very short post game presser to chastise the punter because he should know when he's backed up, he doesn't have the time to do the normal routine when you're up against the end zone. Like 3 days later, we cut him, and I love that guy, big leg. Donnie Jones, the only time he has good punts are when they like bounce. That's what he's trying to do. And the Patriots watch like 6 minutes of tape, realize Donnie Jones is trying to bounce the ball.
And he did, and Edelman picked it up on the
All
fly.
the freaking time!
One bounce, boom, he's gone.
But even the ones airborne, they're catching it at the fort. Like, what a freak, unacceptable. Whatever. It's easy to get angry at those things. They made it far, but that bothered me before the year. Or no, like in the year.
He was Anderkirk. What do you want him to do?
He touched him?
Yeah, he was the only Eagle to shake Tim's hand last year at the Super Bowl. Did they even punt in the Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, I think they did once.
Well,
But he also held kicks.
yeah, I suppose that's true. But most of the curse was really tied up in Stephen Goskowski last year when he claimed that there
You
was no
remember-
curse and shook Tim's hand.
A Monday morning after good bet was if you thought the Chargers were going to get their ass kicked, Gates' last touchdown.
Yeah.
This could have been probably his last catch. That's all I was watching in the second half. I was like, last catch of his career. Last catch of his career.
Right before we recap,
Oh,
the
don't clip. I don't want that part clipped. People can find that gem if they watch the show.
Okay.
There's better stuff.
I don't know about that.
No, but I don't like me getting mad at a punter. We lost by 40 points. Fuck, people care. I got mad about the punter. That's all. I just, yeah,
He's a nice
please.
guy too, is the thing.
Pardon?
He's a nice guy.
He
too,
was.
is
He
the
really
thing.
gave. He really gave us a lot of time on media night.
Yeah, he was
Jeez,
very
I wonder why. Like no one else gave a shit.
So, Tim, we got some other news before we get out of here.
Sure.
So the internet was on fire. It was the best day on the internet I can remember in a very, very long time, Monday. So there was two things from the internet I want to talk about. Tim, we'll start with your team at the very center of it, Adam Gase. He's a maniac. He smokes meth. He does press conferences. And then today, all of a sudden, there was a lot of really good just GIFs and like Photoshop videos with him like chasing the taco around, looking like he had just found out that he was incredibly Andercursed for the rest of his life. But that was amazing. And today they signed Ol Gregg
Who are you? I'm Ol Gregg. Pleased to meet you.
to be their defensive coordinator. Greg the bounty hunter coming in. He's the one who should be walking in with a stack of cash, Tim, to the Jets locker room being like, you knock out the opposing quarterback, here's your $225,000.
Well, I mean, listen, on the bright side, you've got a guy who's an experienced head coach, also in former AFC East head coach, who, you know,
Might as well run them all back through the division. That's worked
Well,
out.
no,
That's
you know,
worked
he
out
took
so well for the other teams who are not
took
the
over-
Patriots.
he took over a team and really improved that defense. And that defense carried, in my opinion, an offense
that
which has
team.
profound
Hated that
flaws
team.
at certain positions. Carried them to some victories this season. I think they will miss him calling defense. So maybe he can do okay on the
That was a
defensive
good
side.
hire.
It's not bad.
I think it's a fine hire. I mean, wouldn't be my ideal choice, but whatever. Like he's also offensive. He's also been a former head coach, so maybe he can give some advice and some input. I don't know. I'm not.
Does Greg Williams look like he wants to help anybody
No.
get ahead?
No, I mean the only head that he's concerned about is his head and what color his hair is today.
Yeah, at least there'll be
But, you
good
know,
salons. Oh no, he's in New Jersey. But like, if he takes a trip to Manhattan, maybe he can get a good salon color.
Yeah, but if he
job.
wants to get himself ahead, that'll also benefit the team by definition, because he'll have to do well with the Jets in order to propel himself forward. So he's sort of harnessing his self-interest to our benefit. I don't know. Yeah, the gay stuff was foolish. I laughed at it all too. That was pretty bad. But you
I
know,
think he
whatever.
cried
Like,
at it.
Well, I
I
mean,
hope next year when we're talking about the Super Bowl or the division or whatever, that we can run that back and say, wasn't this funny? And then the Jets were great. So
he looked insane. Like
Yeah,
if Adam Gase was on this show, Tim would have to just give up the title of insane person and give it to I am now calling the Gase of Spades.
He literally looked like probably I did when I'm 18 years old, showing up to like my family's Passover Seder, high as fuck, and like trying to pretend like everything's normal here. Like, I'm just trying to act cool and normal, like trying to like that's literally what that looked like. That was insane. And there's a lot of Gase stuff, anti-Gase narrative. I feel like he got a real raw deal in Miami. He took Ryan Tannehill to the playoffs. Thought he deserves a chance to like pick his own quarterback. But before all these new gurus, he was like the guru that even made Jay Cutler look capable.
Do you think he's better or worse than Mike Myers as the love guru in terms of guru power rankings?
Probably worse. But he even
No
like
one
made
saw that
John
movie.
Fox. Like he essentially got John Fox like an extra 3 years as a head coach, in my opinion, in many ways. So, but that was a real bad.
It was
look.
fun. It was fun though. Paul, you have a
not
question.
good.
We have a question from the audience. Paul.
Is it possible that Sam's sympathy peacock walked into the room at that exact
Oh, that is very.
alarming?
Yeah, Tim, what would your face look like if you were doing a press conference? All of a sudden, Sam's peacock was in the room
A
with
dude
you.
walks in with a peacock on a leash, you'd be creeped out too.
Just be-
I would no longer be in the room.
just take off.
I would just get up and leave.
There's
It's
a lot.
also-
There's a lot of good nicknames on this coaching staff, though, because you know how prone I am to Ol Gregg.
I got a mangina. I'm Ol Gregg.
But we haven't had Greg Jennings in a while.
What do you make of the guy that they actually wanted to hire? They wouldn't let hire his own offensive coordinator, so they took their second choice. That seems pretty budget for a team like the Jets.
They have asbestos money to pay out, I think, don't they, Tim?
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't think that affects the bottom line for what the Jets can afford for coaches. Listen, I wasn't all that fired up for Rule to begin with.
Yeah, we know. We stated that on the show last week.
I don't think he was seasoned enough.
And then you immediately threw Gase under the bus before he became the head coach of the Jets.
Also, something
I'm aware.
Last week, the Rule thing. He
cursed it out of existence.
No, but he's sort of downplaying his excitement, and you acknowledge that must mean he's furious or hates it, and then he sort of wouldn't admit to that and sort of tried to build it up on there. Then we get off air. Gase is hired, and he's like, "Yeah, I really didn't want Rule. I really didn't want him."
No, but I was going to bash the guy because I thought the Jets were going to hire him, so I was trying to put a bright side on things. I mean, Gase was not my ideal candidate either, but
Gase is
we could have done worse. I really feared it could have been Mike McCarthy, so I think we dodged a bullet. We'll see what happens. I think Gase has got a pretty good offensive mind from what I'm reading here. Peyton Manning may or may not have actually some modicum of involvement with the team, and I say that's great. I mean, there's no harm in that.
What involvement is Peyton Manning going to have?
Well, that Gase will have conversations with him, and he'll talk with him and maybe get concepts and ideas. How could that possibly hurt? I mean, listen, Gase is molding the guy who could very well be the next Peyton Manning under center.
Jesus Christ!
He has he has an opportunity of a world-class, all-time talent potential under center. So I'm going to get advice sort of how the quarterbacks of that skill.
I don't like when Gase was talking this week how they sacrifice. Was he not directly quoted as saying like he sacrificed analytics for wins?
Yeah, didn't really work out well.
He sacrifices yards and good plays. Like I don't understand what that. What does that mean?
It actually doesn't make any sense. Because if you could sacrifice anything in football for wins, you would sacrifice it. You would sacrifice stats for wins. You'd sacrifice yards for wins. You'd sacrifice interception. You name it. You'd sacrifice it for a win. I think he seems to think they're at odds when they work in tandem. But I don't know. I don't have to answer that question. He has to answer that question. You put that to him. Don't put that to me. I just hope that he's going to have the shortest leash of any of the coaches hired because – considering that the Jets have a ton of cap, so they're going to spend it, and they have a quarterback who's on a cheap contract, the team has to be competitive pretty quickly. There will not be patience for it. If in 2 years' time the team is not making the playoffs or right on the edge, he will be fired. So
also,
I think
he's an easy
guy to put up or shut up spot.
Sorry, but he's an easy guy to fire because you have the sickest interim coach on the sidelines
who is getting nothing but offers to coach 30 other teams.
Yeah, do you think that he waited so long to accept this DC job because he was waiting for the mail to show up with all of his head coaching offers?
I think it's a great hire because I think it's a fantastic hire.
Sure.
Gase doesn't have to worry about it.
He's Greg the Bounty Hunter.
He can do what that guy in LA does and work with his young quarterback while the defense is on the field if that's what he wants because Gregg Williams should have full autonomy.
So you think Gase Gregg Williams is a McVay Wade Phillips situation?
Williams,
it feels like the really budget version of the McVay Wade Phillips situation.
Yeah, obviously. But he's going to bounty Brady's kneecaps next year probably too, which Tim will endorse.
Yes, Tim's big on trying to blow people's ACLs out for the year.
No, but it's our fault that Brady is even in the NFL. So I take some responsibility for that.
Well, it's nice that you're finally accepting responsibility for something. Final thing.
Interesting. Good point, Mo Lewis.
Final thing to kind of piggyback on how the internet won yesterday. I feel like no matter if you're a Trump hater or not, yesterday's whole burger thing was fucking hilarious. Just him standing there with fine china and just a spread of sauces and burgers. When asked whether he likes McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King the best, he just said, they're all great, very American companies. It was so ludicrous. It was kind of endearing. And then he took a victory lap today about how he paid for everything. It's like, all right, man.
Everything's from the value menu. And in the States, Dukes cost half as much as what we pay.
I was following it on Twitter, and more than one person said, like every president gets an official painted portrait to hang. Yes. Why not? You might as well, right? What would sum it up better? Is him standing in front of a bunch of Big Macs and filet of fishes and chicken McNuggets and, sauces, just standing there with his hands raised in the air. I think you could hang that on the White House, and that would be pretty apt.
He hasn't looked this happy since like the very beginning of the primaries when he was like in Iowa giving like weird offbeat speeches to like when he didn't go to the debate. Like he looked, he was thumbs up all around. There was a lot of like people photoshopping Hamburglar masks.
But what's he
onto
gonna
him.
like when the Patriots win? Like, what's he gonna serve Tom and Bill?
Well, Tom is on a very strict TB12 diet.
hate that.
So listen, don't sleep on the TB12 diet.
I'm-
That is his moneymaker when all this is over.
I'm not-
Because he's like, I played till I was 43 and I was fine.
I'm not
He
sleeping
doesn't
on
need
any
to make more
diet.
money.
People always need to make more money, Tim. This is how this
Yeah,
works.
but he doesn't need to.
I
He
think
may want to. He
The
doesn't need
most
to.
obnoxious move a guy could pull in the entire world is bringing your own sack of lunch to Augusta
I like
when
it.
you're being invited to play.
I like it.
And Augusta's food is so cheap.
No,
yeah, but the whole
you're an
point-
idiot.
the
That's you're talking like that's for the patrons. What do you think it costs in their dining room?
Oh, I don't even know if they don't even list. They probably don't even list prices.
I'm just saying you're talking about like the pimento sandwich for people. I'm not talking about what they would
Oh, you're
probably
talking
refer to
about
as
dining
like
in
peasant week when like the peasants show up on their property. I'm
Oh,
talking about
maybe.
when just like it's the elite place for the other.
Yeah, when the members are playing and they
Yeah.
go to the clubhouse, what is it? It's probably as part of your dues that you just eat there.
No, I'm sure you just signed a chit. It's not like you're paying a bill and,
Yeah.
and whatever.
But either way, I think that's a strong commitment that Tom Brady shows that even in the offseason, there is no offseason for Tom Brady. That's the only way that he's been able to last this long, especially with the nutrition that he goes to. Steve Nash, very much the same way, that if you get yourself out of conditioning the right way, eating the right way, fueling your body the right way, you're done for. I have no problem with it. This is what he needs
tell
to
them
eat.
what you want. They'll make it for
Yeah, but,
you.
but there's certain things, like certain ways that it's cooked, certain oils that it's cooked in to make sure that none of this stuff, and whether it's like real or not, obviously to him it is, whether it's mental or whether it's all physical. But if he believes it, I'd be doing it too.
Sure, if it works for him, whatever. He's allowed to do whatever he likes. Doesn't mean he needs to proselytize about it, but he's welcome to do whatever he desires.
Listen, I'm wearing my UGG slippers right now.
I wouldn't admit that.
Why? Doug's high price stuff here.
No, I don't back like he does a lot of things that people like give him heat for that I really back him for.
That's not one like Uggs is like you're in on Uggs.
Yeah, I back
I'm not
that.
gonna back
But
it. I'm not gonna-
bringing your own bag of lunch to Augusta.
Well, it
bothers me.
was either bring your own bag of lunch to Augusta or bring your own personal chef and put him in the kitchen at Augusta.
We'll let him do that.
They probably would have. This sounds like a more effective way to do it, just by making your lunch beforehand and bringing it with
Was
you.
he doing this during the 4 weeks he was suspended for cheating by the league?
Maybe. But did it turn out that he didn't cheat at all?
Was he suspended for cheating or not?
Now, is this a road you want to go down, Tim? That if someone is suspended, they clearly did it?
Hold on. Was
No,
he
I
the
didn't say
quarterback that bought HGH under his wife's name?
Oh, that's all hearsay.
Maybe that'll be his biggest contribution to the Jets this year, where to get some low-key HGH.
Just like A-Rod and his cousin shooting him up.
Yeah, that wasn't real low-key.
That happened like by the airport here.
In Toronto?
He's like using some Toronto doctor. Yeah.
He did love Toronto strippers, too. A-Rod, big fan of Toronto. I am a big fan of A-Rod. I really enjoyed...
I am too. He's the
You know,
best.
even before he retired, I
Well,
really enjoyed A-Rod.
This A-Rod role reversal. There are a lot of like ex-baseball players who are insanely jealous because they're still like being dragged through the mud. Well, just because this guy's dating J-Lo
And on TV.
and on TV, he's literally done a complete like 180 on A-Rod from when he retired.
The biggest thing that he did was...
I always liked
the
him.
best thing that happened to A-Rod, I mean... Let's say the biogenesis thing never happened, but everyone just assumed he was on steroids anyway. It would be worse now than the fact that he actually got caught and it's like, yeah, I did it. Everyone who said, yeah, I did it, everyone moved on from caring about it.
Yeah, like Mark McGuire is like a bench coach for the Padres and will probably be a manager someday.
Yeah, and he'll end up getting in the Hall of Fame where
And maybe
I
not.
think he will, but I don't know if Sammy Sosa will.
No, well, Sosa, I wouldn't have voted for Sosa anyway. I wouldn't have voted for any of those guys, I don't think.
What do you, like, you would keep Bonds out of the Hall of Fame. What is the point of having the Hall of Fame if Barry Bonds isn't in it? If Roger Clemens isn't in the Hall of Fame, why even have a Hall of Fame?
I'm only going to vote to put him in if I can somehow put a designation next to him that he was concretely shown to have used HGH. That's all. That's how I feel. I'm not saying anyone else should feel that way. I go back and forth on it a lot. But if I had to cast my ballot, I don't think I'd cast it for them right now. maybe on the last year.
No,
Maybe
that's
in
stupid. Just vote for them now. They deserve to be in.
No,
And the problem it's causing is it's going to keep guys that are deserving from like the next generation out because they're sucking up so much of the Hall of Fame vote like every single year progressively. Just put them in, get them off the ballot so guys that are deserving and potentially need to hang around are still on there.
Well, I don't want to exculpate them the way you seem to want to from the things they did. I think what they did.
What did they do? They put up numbers and played the game that they should be in the Hall of Fame. So put them in the fucking Hall of Fame.
That is not what they did.
That is what they did.
No,
but
that's not.
Bonds, what, 7 MVPs? Probably is the best player to ever play baseball. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Hall of Fame. There's no but. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
But he cheated. That has to matter.
Why does it matter?
Why does if you can't explain, if you don't understand why cheating matters, then it's like you don't understand sports, right?
Well,
I mean, like,
has Barry Bonds ever been officially caught?
Didn't he admit to it in court?
No.
I don't care. I think he should be.
And to bring it back to Tim, was Barry Bonds ever suspended for steroids?
Him and Ken Griffey, best players of our life.
Was Bonds ever suspended for steroids?
No.
Then according to Tim, he didn't do it.
Yeah, fair.
No, that was not what I said to begin with. I just said Brady was suspended for cheating. Doesn't mean he did. Just he was suspended.
So there's just rampant speculation on Bonds. We don't know either way. Put him in. He's the best player ever.
Okay, but what about the guys who have admitted it? Like Mark McGwire has admitted it.
Put him in.
Okay, but now see you're shifting the goalposts. Now you're saying
you just put them all in.
He hasn't shifted any posts. He's been.
Yes, he has. He said, "Well, there's no proof of it, so you put Bonds in." Then I said, "Well, what about McGuire? He's admitted it." Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
He was never suspended. He admitted it after he finished. He retired. So while he was playing, never caught. Good to go.
I don't know. Call me old-fashioned if you like. I like it when my ball.
Well, you hate it when guys get in the Hall of Fame who played against people of color.
No, again, outrageous. Outrageous. I think there's a lot of good ball players that should have consideration for the Hall of Fame. And
imagine Craig Biggio is in the Hall of Fame, but Barry Bonds is
crazy, right?
Like that's
Biggio was a great player. Like, I don't have a problem with Biggio.
Biggio's like the worst. Is Biggio the worst player in the Hall of Fame? He's a great player. Jim Rice is so Jim Rice and Craig Biggio.
Didn't they just put in someone that like drove people nuts?
Yeah. Oh, who was that?
Harold Baines. That's horrible.
Baines, yeah, who was not a Hall of Famer.
And Tim Raines Tim Raines.
No, Tim Raines finally got in, but Harold Baines being in is nuts.
All right, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience because it's a football show, so I guess we got a bit off track there. Prediction for the Super Bowl. Who's going to be in it? That is the giveaway for the week. Like the episode, leave your DraftKings handle and tell me. So I want to know, Geoff Fienberg, what is your Super Bowl pick?
Kansas City, New Orleans.
I will
1-1. That's so rare.
I will be taking.
Last year was 1-1. Before was 1-1.
I will be taking.
Growing up, it was rare.
I will be taking the Los Angeles Rams against the Kansas City Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl. And now a prediction from Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
Because I'm a man who doesn't waver, I will be sticking with the pick I made in the preseason. Rams Chiefs, with the Rams prevailing.
I think it's going to happen. Do you know why?
Because that old Midwest.
No. It's just Tim's preseason Super Bowl prediction coming true. Do you know why it's going to happen?
So then there's going to be a power out and the game will never get played or something? Why?
Tim didn't bet on any of it.
That's good too.
He stands to win $0 if this happens.
You know what?
Credit no. Go ahead.
And I'm sure it's already been talked about, especially in these regions, but there's a fun little side plot to the Super Bowl you both predict happening if it was St. Louis versus Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're so locally...
You're like that World Series, the I-70 series.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
I don't think that was super highly rated.
No, but the Super Bowl doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Sorry. Because I got nothing in front of me. So, and I'm happy I just remembered at the end. This Kyler Murray needs to just screw the Oakland A's. Who wants to watch him play 6 random games that I'm going to bet over the next 12 years? When I could watch him be a QB1 or at least try to do it.
I don't want to dig too far into this right now. And maybe we can save this for whenever, but I think I would have picked baseball.
He still can, but if someone wants to take him high,
Yeah, but I just think long run, you're going to make more money playing, unless you're awesome in the NFL, you're going to make way more
Did
money.
you see
playing
like Major
baseball.
League Baseball's like gone to meet him? They want to like change the rules.
Of
as
course,
to pay
they
him.
should. They should be trying
And they
to get
sent
him.
their marketing guy there to be like, no, we'll do this for you. We'll
But,
do
like,
that for you.
Just think about, you blow your knee out, you're never the same. You blow your arm out, you're never the same in football. Where in baseball, you can come back from that kind of thing. You don't run the risk of head injuries, probably.
I'm
as
being
opposed,
selfish because I don't want to watch him 4 times a
Sure,
year on
selfishly,
random
I
A's
wanna see
games.
him
I
play
bet.
football, too.
I want to see him try to do what his skill set in the NFL.
I just think that baseball is a much safer bet
Oh, of
for
course.
quality of life, for financial
You're making
viability.
that- if you're really good in baseball,
You make all of the money.
Then you make the $200 million contract. But I guess if you're QB1,
And it's guaranteed. If you're QB1, it's different, but you need to be QB1. And how many of these guys bust?
I think he should pursue what would make him happiest. Like, he should pursue his passion. And if that's football and it's not as logical a choice, but it's the thing that deep down is the device and desire of what he wants to do, he should do it. You only come around this way once, and you only have this opportunity.
apparently he even
I
surprised.
actually agree with that.
Apparently he even surprised himself, like how good he was at football.
I mean,
Like
if
it
the
was
A's
never
want him
gonna.
badly enough, let him play both ways. The A's and whatever NFL team drafts him, what does they say, second or third
Maybe
round
the
draft?
most
something
Raider
like that,
thing
right?
ever.
Maybe the Raiders could draft him. Somebody could.
You
Why
just
not
say it.
agree?
Would be
I mean,
Vegas.
the Braves and the Falcons let Dion play both ways. Maybe he could play both ways. It
Quarterback
certainly-
seems hard though.
It does.
Like corner,
but,
go out there, cover him.
Yeah,
worth
running
a
back with Bo
conversation.
Jackson. Yeah, it is worth. If it's the only way that you can get him, then
Yeah.
But he
maybe.
doesn't owe the A's anything to test where he might go in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think so. But can someone draft him? Then he's like, yeah, I'm not going to play football. I'll play baseball.
That's a risk.
Okay, so that's going to hurt his overall draft stock, which hurts his overall financials anyway.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
it's
don't.
that second or third round is where I think
Like,
people are.
yeah, like is he going to be a good NFL player? Maybe.
Who can say?
Is he going to be a good baseball player? Probably.
The word is he's a first rounder in the NFL.
Somebody will talk themselves into this draft.
Tebow was a first rounder in the NFL.
That's
Okay.
it, right?
So was John.
But if what
So
he wants
was,
to do is play football, play football.
Anyway, that'll do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Follow Geoff on Twitter at gfienberg17. Follow Tim on Twitter. Follow myself on the Twitter machines. We'll be back for Super Bowl with these three, going over the game, going over props, all that fun stuff. Tune into the golf shows for some bets. Running fire to start the year on golf. So, I mean, for as much as you may have lost on football with us this year, you've won that and more back betting on golf, because you can give out 40-1 winners, and they win sometimes, like last week. So the Desert Classic show is already out. Torrey Pines will be out next week with Geoff and I, so stay tuned for that while we go into the bye week for football. That'll do it. I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. Sub to the audio podcast as well. Rate, review, subscribe, and like the episodes. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!